When you're putting your spotting scope on your tripod head, balance is very important. Whether you're doing digiscoping or just viewing, if you can have your tripod head and the scope balance, that's going to make life a lot easier for doing. Now, depending on your scope, if you have an 80mm scope, you have more glass up front, it's probably going to be nose heavy. If you have a 65mm scope, there's a lot of prisms and lenses back here, not much glass up on the front end, so it's going to be tail heavy. That's where having the balance rail is great, because you can adjust the distances and allow that scope to be perfectly balanced whether you've got it unlocked or locked. So in the case of an 80mm straight through, this is now balanced nicely. So I can now do my viewing, stop it at any point, it's going to stay there. If I want to lock it in place, I flip the switch and lock it. Once I decide, I have to get a digiscope picture of that, and you add a camera to the back of it, whether with the DCA or the new UCA, whether it's a point and shoot camera, a digital SLR, or even a video camera, as soon as you slide that camera onto the back, now everything becomes very tail heavy. This is going to add to instability, which is going to give you lousy pictures. So, balance rail, flip the lever, bring it out to where the point where it balances, and now I have my DSLR and scope, and everything balances perfectly. I can move it around, leave it there, take a shot, lock it if I need to. One thing to remember when you're doing digiscoping and you have all that weight on the back there, when you're going to take your camera off the scope, make sure you lock the tripod head first before you take your off, because otherwise it's going to want to go way forward, and usually you end up pinching your fingers in there. So get into the habit of anytime you take your hands off the camera, lock your tripod head in place, and that way you're not going to have an oopsie that could hurt your camera, hurt your scope, or maybe your fingers. That's pretty simple, and you should be able to have lots of great time digiscoping and spotting scoping.